Hey everyone, and welcome to the Zelda Eternity Wind Waker walkthrough in video form. In the last episode, we did a whole bunch of stuff on Windfall Island, and if you didn't catch it, you should definitely check it out, because now we're going sailing with this creepy old boatman. Yeah, if you just climb into his back and hump it, he will give us candy. No, not really. First, we have to equip the sail. Set this, use it with Anyway, press A to put it away. All that good stuff that you only need to know if you're actually playing the game, which you will be, hopefully, if you're watching a walkthrough. Anyhow, we're just gonna sail around Windfall Island, and now we head to the first island with a dungeon in the entire game, Dragon Roost Island, which our friendly little yellow arrow is pointing us towards. We're on the Great Sea. And this is basically the main overworld of the game, where you will be going a lot throughout the course of the game. A lot of people hate the Great Sea. I can't say I blame them, because it's a whole lot of nothing. It's very, minimalistic, I should say. Not very expansive in terms of content, dense either. Very vast, though. And some people like that, because it gave the Wind Waker a bit of an open world aspect, and I can appreciate that, in a sense, because I like open world games as much as the next guy. I mean, who doesn't? Of course, it does tend to bog down gameplay up until the point where you got the warp song on the Wind Waker, which is an item we haven't purveyed yet, but will eventually. And yeah, it's gonna be super cool. Anyhow, I'm sure I'll put annotations telling you what these various things here on the ocean are doing right now, because it's way too much to cover with all the things I want to talk about here. It's always so hard to talk about things the first time you come across them, because in a Zelda game they drop a whole bunch of new concepts on you at one time, and then like spend the rest of the game elaborating on those concepts. And that's part of what makes the design of Zelda games so good, because they take a bunch of simple concepts and turn them into great, vast, amazing concepts through fleshing out and elaboration and a solid foundation. And that's why the Zelda series is so wonderful. But it's making it really hard to commentate on, because there's just so much to it, at least the first time it shows up, and then later on, whenever it's already been there for a good while, there's just not a whole lot to say. So it's a Let's Player's curse. Well, not the Let's Player's curse, but it's a Let's Player's curse, or a walkthrough maker's curse, I suppose. In this scenario, it would be to have to commentate over a Zelda game, especially live like I'm doing, whenever there's no time to organize my thoughts whatsoever. But I'm doing it for you guys, because I love you so much. Despite the fact that I threatened to eat your babies in the last episode. But that's just, I would do that out of love. I eat babies out of love. Because if I don't love you, I wouldn't think your babies were worth my time to devour. Because they probably taste like hate. And anyone who has hated before and eaten their hate will tell you that hate is not the greatest of tastes. Anyhow, we're just gonna rough these guys up. It's not like it's any trouble, right? It's not like human rights extends to moblins. Oh, darn it. Sometimes whenever you kill them and they don't fly off the edge like they usually do, they'll give you joy pendants, which are useful in... Oh, come on! You gotta be freaking kidding me. Which are useful later on in the game. And that extends to their gray brethren. Not just the pink ones give you joy pendants. But I think it's more likely for the pink ones to give you joy pendants. I'm not entirely sure. Regardless, we got a red rupee, which will be useful for buying things later on, I'm certain. Now we're just gonna drop off the side here. Ouch! That water felt like concrete because I dropped into it from over 20 feet. You know, that's the thing with water in video games. It has never been portrayed as very realistically, because realistically speaking, if you drop into water from a certain height, it will greet you like concrete greets a suicidal man, in that it will probably kill you, because the impact will be so quick, and water doesn't give as fast as you'd want it to whenever you've reached a certain velocity. I mean, I don't know if that like includes diving techniques that you can use to soften the blow, but I'm not a diver, so I can't say, hey, look at that, you know, threatening-looking smoke cloud circling around the top of that mountain there. Anyhow, that's Dragon Roost Island, the first island in the game. On the horizon, you don't say, Mr. Old Boatman. Dragon Roost Island. our destination, our wonderful, wonderful place of um, wanting to be-ness, where we want to be. High atop this island's peak lies the spirit of the skies, a great dragon by the name of Valoo. I wonder if Valoo offers valet services. You must go see this dragon and request him a jewel called Din's Pearl. Ask the people of Verito tribe who inhabit this blah blah blah. I can't speak, especially whenever I'm reading. Oh, I almost forgot. Wait a moment. This is a plot device. It is the baton of sorts that was used long ago to have cheap gameplay mechanics for you to sail with. It allows you to borrow the power of the gods, which basically means we can now stir up the wind, meaning we're borrowing the power of the god of the wind and not really any of the other gods, but first of all, there are only really 3 gods in the Zelda universe, and I'm not sure if any of them govern exclusively wind. Wait, I believe the Wind Waker also allows us to conduct time, but how that ties into its wind-waking motif is beyond me. Oh, darn it, we're playing music here and I'm talking and I gotta focus. What song we're gonna play the Wind's Rector and hang on, let me just hang on, let me get ready for it, hang on. There we go, nailed it. Okay, but like I was saying, I don't think any of the 3 Zelda goddesses control exclusively, what was I saying? Wind, that was it. But then again, the Wind Waker doesn't control exclusively wind either. Because it also controls time, as I mentioned before, and warping and such. So it's a very useful item that, in theory, should make us the most powerful being in the universe that's not a god. But doesn't, because the uses are mostly for making the wind blow in your favor so your ship can go fast. But you'll see the uses of the Wind Waker later on, whenever we start actually learning songs for it. And at the moment, we don't know any songs whatsoever. But that's why we're here on Dragon Roost Island, at least in part, because here on Dragon Roost Island, we are going to learn a song from a strange and half-naked old frog. You can find him on this island, where most strange and half-naked frogs live. If we look at this and pull out the Wind Waker, which we are going to set to Z and probably not take off anytime soon, we're going to learn a music. We're going to learn music, not a music. I'm just full of things that I want to say but don't. Like, if only grammar could bend to my will exclusively, so that way I wouldn't have to hear it whenever my English professor tells me that that's not really a sentence, or you can't speak that way because it makes you sound like a dumb person. But whatever. I can speak this way right now because it's on the internet, and no matter what I say, I'm still going to have marginally better grammar than most of the people on the internet. Hello there, Zephos, god of winds. Oh, so what do you know? There are gods that control exclusively the wind. Well, I stand corrected, and I feel a bit silly right now. Hey, look at him flying on his Nimbus. Not the Nimbus 2000, but the Nimbus from the Dragon Ball Z mythos, of which Goku harnesses to get around sometimes. But this is Zelda, not Dragon Ball Z, so we should probably stop talking about one or the other in the same time frame. It saddens me to say that my brother Cyclos, his name's in red, so you know he's got to be important, is miffed about his monument here being broken, and now he spends his time creating Cyclos. Anyway, that's a quest you can do later on once you get the bow from a dungeon further on in the game, where you can stir up cyclones and warp, which ties into the main quest, I want to say, but it might not. Regardless of that, it's super useful, and I will be getting it. Actually, I'll be getting everything in the game except for the pictures for the Nintendo Gallery, because that's just silly and waste of time. But for that, it's worth to get the Cyclone and Warp songs, because they're super useful. Anyhow, this sign is going to teach us about using... Oh, come on. Let's look at the sign. Look at the sign, Link! Look at the sign! Danger, do not attack the explosive flute. You're not my dad! Oh, see, nothing went wrong. Nothing went wrong at all. I meant for that to happen. Anyhow, these are explosive fruit, and if you attack them, they will explode. Which is an advantage for you if you want them to explode, like so. And I just did want them to explode, which is why I picked it and threw it at that rock. This is going to blow up faster than I want it to. But it still worked the magic. Just did a little rebounding action right there. zapping all over the place. You look like you could use some explodiness. Better whip. Wow, we got away! That was super sick. Oh, wow. I'm just picking up the rupees in this little lake-type pond, shallow thing. Anyhow, the bombs are going to be used in the upcoming dungeon, so you might as well get used to how they operate here. Up. Up, you say? Well, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get up until later, when we have a ranged weapon. I think the boomerang will suffice, but I don't want to say so. So we might have to come back here whenever we get the bow, which is, like, I believe right after the boomerang anyhow, so no real difference to worry about. Let's just take this bomb and blow up this rock. Now I am the WWE champion, The Rock. It's very easy to beat any wrestler whenever you're using bombs. Like, you know, power bombs and such. Not like the Samus power bombs, but the wrestling move power bombs. I think that's a wrestling move anyway. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure about a lot of things, which makes me perfect to do video walkthroughs, especially for an incredibly judgmental internet audience who will call me out on every single thing I just don't know about, and forsakes the entirety of Zelda Eternity because I just don't know about one thing. Did I mention that I hate the internet? Well, I do. So this, in case I haven't already covered this, I don't think I have unless I mentioned it in passing. This is an island of which bird folk live. Yep, little birdmen who like to fly around. The postman at the beginning of the game, oh gosh darn it, we can't make it across, I don't think. We might as well try though. The postman at the beginning of the game belongs to the ilk that are the birdman of Dragon Roost. We can't make it across unless we do. Oh shoot. Okay, so we'll have to sidle. We'll have to ride side saddle across there. But anyhow, the birdman we encountered at Outset Island at the beginning of the game, who was the postman, is a Rito, or birdman in the Zelda mythos. And the bird people are very accepting of strangers because they just let me go in and take everything in their house, including their most precious heirloom of the noble bird family, Din's Pearl, with a certain amount of coaxing. You see, the bird people decided it would be smart to trust the most precious item in the entire noble family's store to their moody and emo son, who hates everything, especially me. But he will come around, I presume, because if he doesn't, there is no way for me to... Gosh darn it! There is no way for me to finish this game. I wanted to drop it. Why couldn't I drop it? Wait. Well, I'll drop it like that. Oh, wow, look at that. It's situated nice and cleanly on that rock. It's the coolest thing. Wow, that smoke better clear pretty quickly. And there's our first sighting of a birdman. Hello there, Mr. Rito. It's good to see you. Sweege? Sweege, is that you? If it is, I'm pleased to see you're okay. This is actually the postman from Outside Island. I've traveled far for one with no wings. Well, I have a wing of sorts. It's called a sail, and I just got it in the last episode. If you guys would watch that, I'd show you how I got it. Well, actually, I got it in the episode before that, but anyway. Enough trying to make self-referential jokes, because nobody likes that kind of humor. Would you like to meet our chieftain? I've told my people I'd love to meet your chieftain, as long as he can make me your honorary witch doctor of Indianness, and then I will rape and pillage your land because I am the white man, and I need your precious soil. You don't hear too much about racial suffrage in the Zelda universe. I mean, there are traces of it. I wrote an entire article on this once at ZeldaEternity.com, which you guys should all read right now if you haven't already, even though it was mostly tongue-in-cheek, about racism in the Zelda series, about how basically everyone can't stand Deku scrubs, and Gorons usually get a bunch of flack for being ugly effers who never do anything. But anyhow, mostly tongue-in-cheek. So here we are in the place of the bird people. Yes, the place of the bird people. This vernacular I'm using is of true literary caliber. It will be remembered forever. So this guy, he's going to tell me things about power and whatnot. It's very wordy. You guys can pause the video and read it if you want to read it. Because the important thing to acknowledge here is that Valu, their patron guardian spirit type creature, is really pissed and it's our job to go and talk to him about being really pissed. Because, as it turns out, a dragon being really pissed is not good for people who want to, you know, continue living. Yeah. Also, it's something about the Rito not being able to fly without a scale from Baloo, but the threat of a dragon torching the entire island, less important than flying. Yeah, so they're gonna ask you, yes you silly little boy in the green, to go and climb an incredibly dangerous and volcanically active mountain that has all kinds of fiery abominations of nature inside of it. And we're doing this because maybe, I think it's for completely in good faith, but also to, for the purpose of growing in our spirits. I'm struggling with justification for going into an incredibly active volcano for these people. But, yeah. We're gonna get Din's Pearl from it one way or another. So, yeah. Now he's talking about his emo son, which I mentioned earlier, and his, inability to fly, and his, he likes to stay in his room and play video games all day on his Din's Pearl Advanced. Advanced. I always want to call it Game Boy Advance the Game Boy Advanced for some reason, because that's, like, even more than Advance. But, whatevs. Medley is holding, a letter to his son Kamali for him, and we're gonna go fetch that right now. And this guy's giving me a special something. It is the delivery bag. I forgot the name. I wanted to call it the messenger's case, but it's neither a case, and it's, well, I guess it's sort of for messengers, but it's a delivery bag. Let's carry letters around and stuff, because we couldn't do that without a delivery bag. You understand, there's a very delicate structure to how we have to carry these things around. Our filing system. Wow, I'm all hiccupy today. Anyway, our filing system has to be precise. Leave the great value to us, despite the fact that we just asked you to go calm them down. Best to aid Prince Kamali, eh? Actually, I wasn't paying attention to the dialogue there, so they might have never actually asked us to do Velu, which would mean that my actions would be of my own accord, despite the fact that I couldn't progress through the game anymore if I hadn't gone through those specific actions. Anyway, enough of rambling. We've got to go talk to an emo kid and make some friends, because there is literally no one else around Link's age and gender in this entire ocean except for this kid. And, well, even the killer bees are younger than Link, so yeah, Kamali's just about the only person I can talk to. Hey there, Kamali. I guess I can talk to Medley, and there's another character later on. What? Oh, right, I gotta talk to Medley first to get the letter. But, you know, there's no one to really bro around with. Poor Link. His only friend, his closest friend, I tell you, is a pirate girl who's probably like 30 years old or something, even though she's looks about 10. A pirate, by the way. You gotta keep in mind she's a pirate. Link hanging around with her would be hanging around with the wrong crowd, definitely. He'd probably get into all kinds of crazy drugs, like Old Amber, or Woodhearts, or whatever the kids do these days. Hello there, this is Medley. She's gonna give us a letter. Give me your paper. Yes, I am. I see you've heard of me. She's not an attendant quite yet. Oh, that sucks, Medley. Nah, I feel sorry for you. Anyway, give me this letter. It's a letter from father addressed to his a father addressed to his son. Since we can't use names here, I don't think that the chieftain's name is ever given, but his son is, and his son's name is Kamali. And I will post a whole bunch of corrections to this video if I am in fact wrong. Yeah, I already met Kamali. He's kind of a, you know, flighty person. Small favor you'd like to ask of me, eh? Sure, I can do that, as long as you promise an epic makeout session. Actually, I take it back. That beak sounds like it would be painful in an epic makeout session. Anyhow. Right. Through here. I am navigationally challenged. What am I going to do in here? Oh yeah, I'm going to give the letter to Kamali. See, sometimes I have thoughts in my head that go thinkingly. Okay, no. Let me say this to you straight while I'm not trying to play a game and talk at the same time. Because usually it turns out that I can't play a game and talk at the same time. It's like trying to walk, talk, and chew bubblegum at the same time. Rambling. Right. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm saying. That's all I wanted to say. It's as easy as saying that. Why can't I do that when I'm playing a game? I just don't know. What's up, Kamali? I got this letter for you here. Yeah, it's telling you about how much he hates you. He wants you to go die. Yeah, I'm sorry. Kamali, Kamali, Kamali. You gotta slay that dragon! Well, okay, probably not slay this dragon, but you gotta slay that metaphorical dragon. Because I'm nosy. You're one to talk, Mr. Beak Nose. But anyway, you gotta slay that dragon, Kamali. Otherwise, you're just gonna... You're never gonna fly. You're never gonna soar. You're never gonna spread your wings and chase your dreams in the sky. Yeah. Okay, so he's challenging me to go get Calm Down Value. And if we do, he's gonna give us his pearl. He doesn't tell us that. He says, like, he'll do anything for us, I think. I wasn't reading. I should probably read some more. But anyhow, so yeah, that's our goal now. Because we have to get Den's pearl for a reason that was at large unexplained to us. At the moment, I believe it actually was entirely unexplained to us. We gotta go calm value down, basically. That's the gist of what we have to do. I get off on these really long tangents, and before I know it, I'm unaware of what I'm trying to say. Anyhow, we've been going for a bit long in this episode, so next episode we're just gonna do one more thing here. It involves getting a part-time summer job at a post office, and then we're gonna go up to Dragon Roost Cavern and do some crazy stuff, which is my catch-all description for doing anything related with plot relevance in this game without spoiling it, which is dumb because I already said that I'm just gonna save here. With plot relevance, once again, I'm off on a tangent. Wow, this is so hard. It's so hard. I'm gonna go overcome this personal flaw about talking of mine, and then how I do what, when, where. Goodbye, next time, see you then.